Hello everyone, welcome to the Watch Poplars. I decided to do this on the 17th instead of the 18th because I have the time and I just got out of school. So I'm gonna do the January walk along the creek. There's the sweet gum tree. There's the photosynthetic stemmed plant with the green bark. There's the alder and it still has some of its leaves. But I don't know, and I have my pine here. I went straight to the creek, so I'm gonna move along. Yeah, there. I adjusted my grip on the phone so I could pause the footage when needed with one hand, instead of having to use the hand that is holding the pine. So here's the blackberry. One of them. Well, this is not where I made the last video, but that's where it is. There's the privet tree. There's opposite leaves and loose branches. Kind of like it hasn't gotten a lot of ramification yet. There's also lots of geranium robertanium. It's not flowering right now, but this is geranium robertanium, and I'm pretty sure you know what that is in common terms. But here is a Monterey pine as well. Same as this, just growing in the wild. This is like 4 years old, by the way. I haven't been here 4 years ago, but based on how developed it is, it looks 4 years old. This place looks really nice. You also have this kind of honeysuckle here, all over the place. It has trichomes, kind of fuzzy leaves. You can see the trichomes on the leaves. And then they bloom, and then in fall or late summer, they have these little red berries in clusters. But here's the dogwood area closest to where I start usually. It's looking very nice. Just a bunch of red twigs. And it looks like they get up to like 5 years old and then they start to die back and re-sprout from the base. It's a very nice day. It's very refreshing. We had a high of 54. But it's gonna start warming up again. The good news is that there is some precipitation in the forecast, and I got really, really excited this morning because I was so happy. It was really nice to see after I don't know. I don't know how long we've been going through this dry period, but it's been quite a while since the last rain. I think it was I don't think we've had any rain in January yet. But yeah. Snowberry here. Snowberry. I don't know what the scientific name of this is. I'll have to look at the flower, but I think it's some kind of Ericaceae. It has I believe it has these kind of vase-shaped flowers, or white. I don't know. Or maybe, no, they're pink. Vase-shaped flowers. They're probably in a blueberry family. They look like blueberries too, except white. I'll give you another look at some poison oak. There. You can see the staggered pattern of poison oak. Yeah. That's all this upward. You just see if you gotta take a screenshot of this if you want to know, or maybe I can, when I stumble upon a better example of one with a nice dark background, you can take a screenshot of it. But you gotta know what this looks like during winter, so that it still has some negative effects during winter. It's all of this tangled mess here is poison oak, and it's a very thick vine. Well, it's old, but it's quite large for poison oak. It's probably sprouting aerial roots. I don't know how it does that or what adaptive trait that means or has derived from, but they have aerial roots. It is so lovely. Look at that. Blackberry. It's invasive, but as just like many rubus relatives and I guess types, they get nice winter colors. The willow has stopped growing. The tips are not red and kind of spring-like anymore. They've finally stopped growing. But those leaves are gonna stay on until throughout February, at the same time as this tree starts to wake up. But I'd say that this willow is just past its peak fall colors. In this case, it's winter colors. The alders are blooming and releasing clouds of pollen from their microstrobili, which megastrobili and microstrobili are the private parts of plants. So don't go saying plant obscenities around on YouTube, and I will not be doing so. Maybe until I'm older. Although, usually, I don't know. But yeah, you get it. It's pollen. And I'm pretty sure some people are allergic to the flowers of alders. But, you know, I'm not. Oh well. You didn't know that, but now you do. Here's this plum tree. The buds are not swelling. So it might be kind of like a genetically later type of plum tree. It had different leaf shapes than the native plum trees we have here, after all, so I don't know, maybe the buds are swelling, I'm not sure. There's some kind of sunflower relative here. It looks like a thistle. I think it's a thistle. Yeah, I'm gonna guess most of these shrubs are Asteraceae. The sunflower family, composite family. You know, they get very large. We have another composite here. This is also in the Asteraceae family, horseweed, and it gets these fluffy seeds, just like that. So that's horseweed. This willow still has leaves. I think it's still autumn. These are all native plants. Aside from the English ivy, which doesn't get fall colors at all, it just kind of gets some subtle winter colors and turns a bit purple. But other than that, we have the native red osier dogwood. And it is getting fall colors. We live in a warmer climate than what most people think of winter as. So we often get extremely late fall colors. Our spring arrives early. Ooh, you have some kind of solanum, a nightshade. Solanaceae. You can see these berries. This is a deadly nightshade. I think it's black nightshade. I remember the flowers being white, but this is also probably a close relative. It is a perennial, has a woody-ish stem, and yes, I'm wearing horrible shoes for this. But you know, you have perennial. This thing is probably 2 years old. It was probably a little bit of a plant 2 years ago, but oh, there's a bigger one. It actually is kind of sprawling. It's a much more sprawling plant. Winter blooming. Look at that. I'm gonna take a picture of that right now so that Siri can send me suggestions. All right. Onward. Oh, nice. Lovely Asteraceae. Oh, wow, there's a berry right there, but it's not ready. Probably won't ever be good enough at this time of year. But you can see lots of leaves still on the dogwood. I already knew they get late fall colors. This kind, at least. It might be Cornus alba. I think that's because the flowers are white. Most dogwoods I know have white flowers, so I don't know where that name came from, or if it even correlates to red osier dogwood. But I don't know, I'll have to do some research. Fraxinus alba. It's a white ash, and it's a native. They're not a very large tree. There's a dead alder right there. But look at that. That used to be a large alder, and it died of old age, I believe. Maybe. I don't know. It looked like it was. Oh wow! It was an entire clump of it. Well, here you have juglans, a walnut. It's a walnut tree. It's a juglans, I think. It's a. I don't know what kind of walnut it is. I think it's a black walnut. I don't know. There's a such thing as a California walnut, and I don't even know if it's native, but I don't know. But here, there is an old, well, it's dead. It's completely dead. It was, I don't know, like a 6-7 trunk alder. Wow. So it was probably quite old, you know. That's quite large. They're all fused at the base, and they're probably all genetically identical, but they're all dead of old age, and that will soon fall away from these power poles, thank God. So I am confident this will never get cut down. It will just fall across the creek, and if it's not rotten enough to just collapse, then it will form a new bridge that I probably won't be able to walk across. Here's a buckeye. California buckeye. Aesculus californica. I should start using only scientific names. Especially if the common name is very misleading. Oh look, there's a tag over there. It says 525. I have been having a fun idea where I'd go around this creek and record all the changes in the trees like once a month with a notepad. You can see they're starting to leaf out. Right in the middle, you have the leaves coming out on this little sapling. So the eucalyptus is starting to grow. I thought they broke dormancy in late March. That's what I know. You can see the horsewood gets very tall. Oh wow. That is almost 10 feet tall, this horseweed. Now here's a California privet. I haven't really noticed it being invasive, but I do know it's not native here. People call it California privet, but it's actually native to Korea and Japan. I don't know why was it called California privet? It's just, that's why I would rather use the scientific name for this one. The lemon balm is dying back to the ground, where there's a perennial root system, and then it will sprout back up. Sometimes it dies back to halfway and then sprouts new ones. But you can see those seed pods, or the seeds, the dead flowers, and inflorescence. This is in a mint family that includes lantanas, mints, lemon balms, and I don't know. There's a lot of members in the mint family. Lamiaceae. I'm sure I'll be able to make a much better video about identifying plants during summer, late summer actually, like in August or September, when you got all the flowers, maybe in July, because there's still some green grass at this time of year over here, because obviously the moisture. But yeah, there's the Ficus carica. Yeah, it's not, well, break dormancy in March, I believe. Oh, there's this invasive oleander that needs to go. But it looks like it's been growing there for quite some time. There's like tags everywhere. Look at there. There's one right there, here, there. Oh look, there's nice eyes on this tree. Look at that. Spooky. There's one on that big tree. And then there's one over here on this willow over here. And then that alder right there. They're all around. Look there. That one's also got a tag on it. Yeah, they're all over the place. This is really nice. So people keep track of the health of these trees, I believe. Oh wait, no, this tree is dead. But, you know, they probably keep track of dead trees as well. Why is that plum tree leafing out? What is wrong with this tree? This plum tree is spoiled. Huh. Why are there leaves? It looks like it's not actually actively growing, but it looks like it came out, I don't know, in like October probably. Which is strange. It looks like it was pruned to an odd shape. But it's connected to this much larger plum tree that is alive, and it will be flowering soon. And there are still leaves up there. Those are plum leaves. I now smell skunk. Why does it smell like skunks? I don't know. I don't smell it anymore. It was very brief. I don't think I'll be doing a very thorough go around of the plants here because it's winter. It's not the prime time to be doing whatever you call it, botany. It's not that time. There's barely any flowers, and there's not much to do as far as just like naming off all the knowledge you know in a stream of consciousness. Unless it's poison oak. Yes. And what on earth? That looks like some kind of like haunting spirit. It just kind of waddles around. Look at that. That is spooky. I do want to know what these flowers look like up close. Interesting. So all those brown things are stamens, and then there's a green stigma. Interesting. There's a second sun. Look at it. There's a second sun right there. And it almost looks like actual sunlight. It's perfect. They must have freshly cleaned the windows. But the sun is just setting right there behind a hill. There was just a thing driving around, a police car, an ambulance. But there's a star on the ground right there. And it is from this very late sweet gum tree. This liquid amber. And I know basically, I can name off some of the letters that are in the last name of it, but I don't know how to pronounce it. What is that? There's a weird tree right here, and it's rather fat. It has a kind of a fat stem. It has kind of very long leaves, kind of drooping downward, but it has kind of a fat trunk compared to its size. I don't know, but someday during summer I'll go here and I will examine that more closely. But right now it looks kind of like a cherry tree, although cherry trees aren't very fat. There's the poplar. It's the Populus fremontii. Yeah, it's in its peak fall colors and they don't look very nice. I think it's because it's so late. It's just not the right time for them to get such nice fall colors. But yeah, those very long shoots were guaranteed to get late fall colors with that much. Those leaves came out in like November at the top. these long shoots on the valley oak, Quercus lobata, are still greenish. They get nice colors. Yeah, but I gotta go to the other side of the creek now. The other end. You know, I think the YouTube channel Crime Pays by Botany doesn't really help me learn which trees are invasive or not. And the Bradford pear is one of them. But there's the wall. Still there, obviously. But that'll be coming back probably in March. I've also seen Nandina domestica too much. This truck here is always here. It's just, I've never seen it move. It's always just over those 2 parking spaces, and I don't know why. There's a Bradford pear here getting very late fall colors. It's also plus it's genetically, it genetically gets later fall colors, but it's also flowering at the same time, which is, it's strange. Look at that, there's flowers. It just isn't quite winter here in California, Zone 9. It just not quite. So this is what anthocyanin pigments do to spring growth. They make it red. Now, anthocyanin pigments do not make rubies red. They make plants red. Chromium is what makes rubies red. An evergreen viburnum getting ready to flower and seeding at the same time. Chinese pistache, as winter as it gets. I have seen some that just are the oddballs. They have these long shoots that keep their leaves on until December, around Christmas time. So this is as winter as it gets for these Chinese pistache trees. I haven't noticed these being invasive, even though they have a very high success rate at germinating. So don't be cutting these down. I love them, and I respect them. I've seen boxwood too much. Buxus, it's too common. It's as hardy as it is. I don't know. I like deciduous hedges better than evergreen ones, even though there's no privacy. Like there's no barricaded privacy with this short hedge. It could be deciduous instead. I just rhymed. A camellia. Sorry. This should be censored, but, you know, I don't know. I don't care. But here, there's a camellia. It's not invasive, but it's it's a modest ornamental. I should probably have a bonsai of this kind of plant someday. There's a shroom. There's a red cap. I don't know. My hands are full, but I don't know what it is. It's a white stem, a red cap, but it doesn't have like the kind of the shaving things on it that make it an amanita. It's not an amanita, but it's a red-capped mushroom. All right, this tree. This is the earliest plum tree I have seen, and that I know. It has flower buds. Look at that. There are flower buds starting to swell on it. Getting ready for spring. That's exciting. I'll put the pine here. But I'll keep my backpack. This is where it comes to the type of shoes you gotta wear. I'm not wearing good ones. I worn these so often that I've had knee problems before, but they were very, 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 very minuscule. I don't know, should I walk over there? During the floods, there has been some shifting of the sands, and I think it got thinner after one of them. So the path is a bit skinnier. but we'll see after the next flood. One more time, I want to show you that same exact flower I showed you earlier in the plum forest video. So there's bay laurel, an avocado family and laurel family, Lauraceae. And that damn English ivy, I hate it. Here's the honeysuckle area. The leaves surely haven't changed at all, pretty much. And the growth has grown a little bit more. Very soft and tender leaves, covered in a light layer of hair and fuzz, trichomes. I don't know what adaptation that is for, but it is nice and cute. Here's the berry section. I think I was here yesterday. Yeah, that sounds about right. What's this? Could I use this for bonsai? I mean, unless it's for seed collecting. No. I have plenty of seed containers. Oh, that is lovely. Look at the raspberry. Lovely colors. That is some nice winter colors. Some isolated patches of beauty among, I don't know, this kind of overall beige color. If you blend all the colors you see on the screen here, that's the overall color of January. Here in Zone 9, coastal California. Here is the natural raft style willow that had one of its trunks bent over during a flood before probably 2000. I don't know. The growth does not look to be 25 years old coming up from it, so I think it must have happened around 2010. That's my guess. But it's completely bare now and ready for spring. Oh no. I hate this fucking plant. It's so obnoxious. And look at all of these. Look at its recruitees. Look at it. It's recruiting. It's recruiting all of its snobs. Or whatever. I hate it. It needs to go. It's not deciduous. And I absolutely hate it. It is invasive. Everyone hates it. But sometimes a lot of people don't have the time, or just, I don't know, they can't get themselves to be confident enough to just get rid of it. I think there's a relative of ribes, Currant family. I have to see the flowers. The leaves look very currant-like, and do they smell? No, they don't. Oh, nice. Winter colors. Invasive, but gosh, dang it. I hate it. It's gotta go. The Scotch brush. And this acacia. This is the blackwood? I think it's blackwood. That's the common name. It probably has black wood, but you can see, I don't know why, but the leaf stems have evolved into the leaves have evolved into photosynthetic stems of some kind. Sorry for the accidental British accent, but I don't mind. It's growing. Oh wow. I just need to get cut down. I hate it. It's invasive. It's a South African plant. I don't have a grudge for South Africa, but you know, the people who brought this over had no idea that it would be invasive. But now we gotta deal with it and make up for our mistakes. A car part. The next stop I want to make is to check up on my ash seedling that I will be pulling out of the silt maybe in February. And I marked it where all this red stuff is. something could have pulled the flag out, but it is here, and I put a tube over it, so that I would know where it is, and it is somewhere here. I remember there being a grass somewhere. It could not have been a flood. It is somewhere here, I know it. I keep losing it. This is very, and I can't go back, and look through the photos. I put a flag somewhere here. I tied a ribbon, and I put this straw over it. Something probably walked here. I don't know. I'm trying to make myself know where it is so that I can pull it out and develop it into a very beautiful bonsai of ash, of white ash. Oh, I just found it. I just realized it looks like someone's been digging here. I don't know. But I'll put that back over here so that I know where it is. And hopefully, it's pretty difficult to kind of remove that. So, I don't know. But the straw's probably been here a long time, and I don't want to keep bending it, otherwise it's going to splinter. And kind of, I'm going to save this for the trash and continue on with my journey. But there's the white ash seedling I'll be digging up. And it's quite firm, which is nice. I'll keep it nice and protected. And I'll I'll find some other things to mark it with, such as a blue glove. Now, among those blue gloves, there is periwinkle, which I was talking about yesterday. Oh. And and it almost matches them perfectly. And the periwinkle is a February kind of plant. Oh, there's a golf ball. I'll be dealing with that right after. This glove feels like it's like a piece, like a thin sliced bread that's been just sitting out for a few days. It's completely stale, but I will just put it right here next to it. Now, it's true. I have no idea where all this trash has been. I don't know where that glove has been before it got swept downstream. But, there's probably some biohazards, probably kind of little molecules of biohazard in there remaining from, I don't know, whatever it was used from. If it was even a biohazard. And I don't want to go any further into that. Now. This. Can I go? I don't want, I'm a bit nervous. But, I don't want to, it's like forcing yourself, I don't know. It's like having your, sorry. It's like drawing out your blood on your own, oh God. It's like you are using a syringe to draw out your own blood. That's what it feels like. I don't want to do it. But if I do it, I'm going to teach you guys why you should not touch this plant. This is Urticaceae. It's in the family Urticaceae. It's a nettle family. And it's stinging nettle. You have those stinging fiberglass hairs all over this plant. How do I know that this is nettle? Well, I could be daring and do what most people accidentally do. But there's fiberglass. These hairs are white. and if you touch them, it will feel like a mosquito bite, a very, very a painful mosquito bite. But I don't know, because my experience during October, it didn't feel like a bee sting. Maybe it did. I don't know. But I got stung on my index finger. And now that is, it is completely, all the evidence has healed away, but, this is stinging nettle. On the underside of the leaves, it is also the same. But this usually grows into a big stalk. It's a perennial. This looks quite new, so it's just finished its first year of growing. And then next year, well, this year, it's going to send up a big stalk. It'll be about this tall, but it's also right in the middle of the path. I'm gonna try to make myself do it. Here goes nothing. I don't know. I didn't feel anything, but I don't want to try again. I'm too nervous. It's too much. I don't know. That looks like stinging nettle. All those fiberglass hairs with the little microscopic drop of like poison or whatever that was called. I don't smell hemlock anymore. Or do I? I need to get low. Because all the stuff is on the ground. I smell it. I smell it. Oh, welcome to the family of carrots. Yeah, this is the carrot family. What is it? A-R-L, oh, Araceae. I think it's Araceae. Araceae? Acacia. Acacia. I don't know. Something like that. I have to do more research. But it's in the carrot family. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm growing it at home as an accent plant. And I haven't noticed it has a carrot root. It doesn't have a tuber. But, well, does it? I don't know. Let's see. No. It doesn't have a tuber. No, there's no tuber. Let's try this one. Oh. There's no tuber there either. I mean, sure, it's thick, but that's obvious. There is no tuber. But it's in the carrot family. And all of the sound you're hearing is not dirt, it's seeds. This is a native plant. It's an irritant that can kill you. This is not edible. It's going to kill you. You can see this inflorescence. I don't know what the chemical in here is that makes you die when you eat it, but it's lethal. And it's bad. And you can, I'm pretty sure anyone who lives here, around here, on the coast of California, although there's even a variety in the mountains and the Rockies, maybe in the Sierras, it has kind of more fuller leaves, maybe so that it can deal with more precipitation. But here we don't get any precipitation during the summer. I don't know. I think this is an annual. I don't know. The roots I saw they looked a bit alive. But all the seedlings, I don't see them really resprouting at the base specifically at the base of the old ones. That makes me think it's an annual. But the ones I planted were all just a handful from multiple inflorescences like this. I'm not going to plant any more at home because I have too many. But there's the seeds. If I eat these, I will die. So this is a very careful. You got to be careful around this. It's in the carrot family, and it looks nothing like a carrot, but it has carrot-like leaves. And don't be going around thinking that this is parsley, or whatever. Yeah, but they have a super high germination rate. Now here is the forest of Scotchbrush. That stupid Scotchbrush. It's like 40 years old, or I don't know. They spread by rhizomes, I believe. They have a very high germination rate as well. But here we have a nice native plant called coyote brush. And it's in the sunflower family. You can see those seeds. The airborne seeds. And which means that it is, I don't know, wait. No. Because there are some wind-pollinated plants that don't produce fluffy seeds. It's not the same thing as I don't know. You can see the new growth is getting ready to start coming out. All those bright green tips. It's a member of the sunflower family, and it forms a tree. It's a small tree. And they get kind of yeah, you can see what I mean. It gets quite large. You know, a small tree, they begin about the size of a plum tree. That one over there. Yeah. Oh, there's nice flower buds here. You can see the bay laurel is flowering, getting ready to flower. This one's a bit earlier, later actually, but there's still some leaves up there. But oh wow, nice. All this is raspberry. That's lovely. But here, I want to show you how big they get. So you can see that is a large. This is a big coyote brush. This has probably been growing for like 60 years. You can make nice bonsai from these. I don't know, but this is I have a friend who has a large one growing in his yard. They can get quite big. You know, mostly you see them growing as a small shrub about that tall. It's a bit taller than me. But it's quite large at the base. Yeah, very nice. You have let's see. So the aroid family, Araceae. So that's what it was. Well, not what the carrots were, though. But this is in the aroid family, Araceae. And, you know, those flowers, they have a white kind of petal like this. And in there is a stalk with the male flowers on top with the pollen. And then on the bottom, there's a female section. So it's dioecious, I believe. I think. Dioecious? It would be nice to come over here and show you that the iris relative, that with the red berries that just stuck out of the ground. It's probably a type of iris or Iridaceae that sprouts leaves and then dies back for the dry season, and then stored in that bulb is the energy to push out a flower in late summer. There's poison oak here. That is poison oak. It probably just looks like anything else, but you can see, compared to this buckeye, which has an opposite stem and leaf arrangement, aside from this, which is the same thing, but it's just a strange defect. How does this happen? Why? They have nodes of 3 in whorls, like oleander. But this is a California buckeye. And here, they are staggered. And they sweep upward like that. Now there's a spurge here. I don't know if this is native or not, but it's not super invasive, if it is. It's not the most invasive thing I've seen, which is fine, which is nice, if it is invasive. But that's also invasive. I respectively hate this plant. It's pampas grass. It needs to go. It needs to go. It is a long-lived grass. And once this gets big enough, it's going to sprout a large, well, it's going to get like, I don't know, 10 times bigger, as big as this. And then it's going to send up big spikes and stalks. You can see there's an old one, and then the old stalk right there. Actually, I don't know. This was here in 2023. This must have sprouted this last year. I don't know. Interesting. But this euphorbia is quite nice. It has nice winter colors. And the red stems. You can see the red stems, yellowish leaves, and then it sprouts back. It's actively growing. And if I sever this, you can see the toxic latex oozing out there. Do not get this in your eyes, or else you will go blind. Do not keep this on your skin, otherwise you will probably get irritating skin itches. And do not ingest it, or else you'll get very sick. I don't know, maybe worse. And what else? That's it. I don't know. But, yeah. Oh, wow. This ericaceous plant, the blueberry family, Ericaceae, is actually extending. That's nice. So I guess this plant also leaves out in January, naturally. Every single snowberry plant I see here is leafing out. So yeah, spring is here. Welcome to early spring, everyone. I never realized until now just how many plants we have here that are native, that leaf out in January. Not just for the dry season. That snowberry loses its leaves in fall and not summer like the buckeyes do. But yeah. Wow. So majestic. That is a very lovely alder. I love all the catkins and flowers hanging down. It makes it even more graceful to look at. Oh, look at that. The red stems on the dogwood. That's like fresh blood red. Look at this. This is red osier dogwood. Probably named commonly because of its blood red stem. I love it. It's a very lovely plant, and it grows into a thicket. It looks like they did some work here, probably for good reason. It will all sprout back in spring, but I can now, I can now walk here, except why didn't they get rid of the ivy instead? Gosh dang it. Why didn't they get rid of the fucking English ivy that smells like, you know what? I don't want to say it at this age, but lewd. It smells like lewdness, and it's so invasive. When it gets to sexual maturity like this, when it changes its leaves into a populescence, when they get all flappy and kind of heavy like this and dangle, this is bad. They get out of control and they have so many seeds. Why didn't they remove this instead? They removed these native willows. I have no idea why they did this. Why? It also looks like they did a really bad job at cutting them, because they just split them. They're not like that's gonna affect the health of the plants, but why didn't they just actually remove the cement here? Why? I am outraged. Oh no. This is just, and they cut back those very, very tall alders as well. And oh, you know, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but they just cut everything here. I am scared. What are they gonna do? Well, right now, I'm going to assume that it was the friends of the Orinda Creek. So, for now, I am going to stay on the bright side, just keep it cool. Maybe they're gonna take this English ivy. Hopefully. They better. But yeah, maybe they're good. I mean, maybe it was easier to get rid of this stuff first. Maybe they're gonna do something positive for the creek. I mean, who knows? But maybe this just looked a bit more challenging to get rid of. Maybe it would be another project. But I want to stay on the bright side, and think that they're gonna get rid of this next time they come here. Ooh, now I can see clearly that alder. Very zoomed out. Okay, so you can see this alder here. That is very nice. That inspired me to angle my alder in a slanting style, so that I have room to make one of the side branches sprout something that can form a new leader, like that one. That is all for today. This is the Watch Poplars, and I will see you next time.